Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Reborn Dolls with Karen. We're back with Marissa. She looks like this now. She's ready for her blush layer, but I've been staring at her for a little while and I'm not exactly 100% pleased with her. I'm not going to say she's horrible, but she's a little bland. She's flat looking. She doesn't have a very pretty face to begin with. And I don't know. Anyway, we're going to press on. Let me get a brush out from one of these containers. I just don't know which one to pick it from. Maybe this one. I don't know. I have a brand new bottle of blush here. I mixed it way back for a video. I still have a tiny bit in this one, but I didn't want to use this and run out and then start using this. So I'm going to use this on this doll, and then whatever I use out of it, I'll just pour this in there and mix it together for the next doll. Make sense? It's better than running out. And I already have this made, so I made it to show how to mix paint in a video. Ugh. That's one thing about these lids, they get rather messy. Gotta keep paper towels handy. If you touch your doll with that on it, you are definitely going to get some kind of paint on your doll you don't want. That's how I actually made my first baby scratch. Accidentally. I let the head touch the rim when I was dabbing the paint on, and it left a little scratchy looking. It's almost a scratch all by itself. I just touched it up a little, and I had a scratch. It was really weird. And after that, I liked it, so I started doing it. Okay, we're just going to paint her eyes and stuff. And every time you mix your paint, it's going to be a little different from the last time. Because we're not perfect and we don't pre-measure. I mean, you could. I tried it one time. I even bought this little set of measuring spoons that were extremely weird. They had measurements instead of like 1/4 of a teaspoon and 1/8 of a teaspoon. They had a dash and a pinch and they just had names like that. I don't remember all of them. A dab and they were just tiny, tiny, tiny little measuring spoons. And I thought, okay, I'm going to measure. I'm going to measure how much paint thinner I put in, because I was really, really in tune with making it the same every time. And so I proceeded to try to dip out some paint with one of those little spoons. Okay, so good. So far, so good. Let's dip it out. So I dipped me out a spoonful, and I had no idea if it would be enough or not. But my problem was I couldn't get all of it out of the spoon. So your measurement's not exact anyway. So next time, I'm thinking, what if next time I'm able to get more out of the spoon or not as much? It just wasn't becoming a measurement that you could repeat. And so I dispensed with that and just started sort of guessing at it, I guess you'd call it. And that's the way I do my recipes. I don't measure anything. I just put it in there till it looks right. And drives my daughter-in-law crazy. She measures everything. If it says a cup of onions, well, she's got exactly a cup of onions in there. I mean, literally. I just put some onions in. And I always say you can't go wrong with onions. They're delicious anyway. And they make all your dishes really, really good. And who measures? I don't measure. Who measures anything to make chili or spaghetti? Does anybody do that? I sure don't. I just dump everything in there till it looks right. That don't look right. I need more, you know. Or that looks good. I don't need any more. Okay, on this step, we're going to try to put her tips on her nails, as well as I can tell already that her lips need a little more color. We'll be coloring them up again too. They're just not quite there yet. And it doesn't hurt to do that. But see, her nails look pretty good. At least on this hand. I'll check the rest of them as we go along. Trying to get her a little bit darker here. She just doesn't seem dark enough to me. If she comes out of the oven and I still think she's too pale, I'll be putting something on her. I don't know what it's going to be, but something. Possibly another coat of warm blush, or possibly, if I put more warm blush on her, I feel compelled to put more blush on her too. So maybe one more coat of warm blush and one more coat of this blush. Not sure. Because, like I said, I don't know how she's going to look when she comes out. Making dolls is not really a guessing game. It's really a just wait and see thing. Sometimes one doll will be plenty dark from what you do, and another doll won't. And you won't be satisfied with the way they look. Yeah, her nails look pretty good, I think. This one does too as well. And so you'll want to do something else to them. I'm not a fan of going out of order. I have this order I do mine in. I'm very regimented. I do not want to change. It's like I figured this out, and this is what I'm gonna do. But sometimes you have to go outside the box a little bit to get the effect you want. And it's not always that easy. It's sometimes you are guessing. Like, I think this is what I want on this doll next. You know, if I seem sleepy, it's because I am. I went to bed really early last night because I was so tired. I usually try to lay down in the middle of the day and take a little nap. But here lately, the little girl next door is now in school, so her brother is home alone. Well, not alone, his mother's there, but I mean, he doesn't have a sister to play with. And he just screams and cries, and you can hear him through the apartment even. But when he goes out to play, he's like a wild little maniac. He is running and screaming and banging, and he just got a lot of pent up energy. And it seems like every time I think, well, I'm going to go lay down and rest for about an hour, out he comes, and he starts that screaming and banging, and you can't even begin to close your eyes and relax. Every bang just grates on your nerves like that. What's this doing here? Must have been, I don't even know where that came from. Anyway, so I didn't get any sort of a little rest or nap or anything yesterday. So by the time it came time to, okay, now these nails don't look good. These nails look like they need a little more. Huh. Anyway, by the time it came time for me to go to, I'd be probably watching TV. I was just beat. I was totally just worn out. So I just went to bed. And I slept and I slept and I slept. But it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So just so y'all know, I'm sitting here doing this at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep anymore. And even though I'm awake and up and I couldn't sleep anymore, I'm still sleepy, if that makes any sense at all. So, yeah, until I have me a cup of coffee, I'm going to be kind of groggy. I did make it. I heard it finish. I may get me a cup. Well, I'm waiting for her to dry just a little bit before I put her second coat on. It's just right behind me. It smells good, too. I can smell it. And, she needs to sit a minute anyway and sort of dry. She won't get dry, but she'll get when I say she won't get dry, I don't mean she won't get dry enough to paint. I mean she won't get completely dry. Like if you left her 2 or 3 hours and she was dry, like powdery dry. That's what we really, really want before we put our second layer on. We want the first layer to feel dry and not look shiny at all. And hopefully by getting myself a cup of coffee while I'm waiting, she'll have a minute to actually dry a little bit. And then we'll put the second layer on. And then we'll put her, I'm going to have to touch up that 1 foot with the nails. Hopefully I can dry it a little bit with the heat gone so I can go on and tip her nails. I wanted to tip this doll real bad. But when you don't have any, I mean, you're not finished with the nail color yet, you can't put the tip on. And that would be a whole extra bake just to put some tip on. I don't know if I'm up for that. I mean, I went all these years without putting any tip on my doll's nails, so if I have to skip a few dolls putting tip on, so be it. I think I told you I was working on Kyra at the same time as I was working on this doll, in between. But when I got my Kyra kit out to seal it, her lips were blue. So I sent a picture of it to Bountiful Baby. This is one reason I really like Bountiful Baby. I don't really know what other companies do, but if you tell Bountiful Baby, you know, all they require you to do is send them some sort of a picture of your, like your invoice, so that they know that it wasn't a doll that you bought from someone else, and a picture of the doll kit itself, what's wrong with it, and they'll send you a replacement. So I said, huh, what's up with these blue lips? Was she just a flaw, or did somebody return her and they had already started doing something to her? What's up? And they said, oh, we're so sorry. We're going to send you out another Kyra head. So I'll be getting another Kyra head. I was unable to get the blue off her lips. I'll probably go on and reborn her, but I'm not sure if it's what's going to happen. I usually try to go on and reborn them. Okay, that's her painted one time. I'm just going to grab me a cup of coffee real quick. You'll be able to see me. It's just right behind me. I believe that's hot enough. I was going to heat it up a little in the microwave because I like a lot of milk in my coffee, and it cools it off usually too much, but I just believe it's hot enough. I just want to drink it. Hoping it'll wake me up a bit. Okay, we're back. Sorry for the break. It was probably 2 or 3 minutes. I like my coffee to have a chocolate flavor. And also, my coffee has to be sweet. They make a chocolate flavored coffee mate, but it's horrible. Doesn't taste good to me. So I use Nestle Quick. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I flavor my coffee with. It works really good. It sweetens it and it chocolates it at the same time. Okay, here we go. We're going to put another coat on her. Oh, by the way, you can feel her little scratch. I don't know if I said that. It now has a texture to it. If you feel of it, it feels like a scratch. I think oh yeah, it was one of the dolls I donated to my sister's. Uh, her work was doing a fundraiser for St. Jude, and I donated some dolls and for them to sort of, they didn't really auction them, but it was sort of like that. But it's more like a raffle, I guess. And anyway, they uh one of them had a scratch, and my sister was so surprised that you could feel the scratch. It wasn't just a color on the doll. I said, "Well, no, of course not. It's raised up. I use texture. It's no good if you can't feel it." I mean, well, it's some good, but it's way better if you can feel it. The realism's right is there, and it's real easy. You saw how I did it, and so it's really quite easy, actually. Oh, this is getting so wet. This paint is a little light. I can tell by the way it's going on the doll. It's a little too light. And it's so hard to darken the paint up after you put all the paint thinner and stuff in there, because it's hard to dissolve the paint. You almost have to get another separate jar, mix up some paint, and then dump it in there, because it's just too hard to mix up the paint otherwise. Or you can do that thing I said before. Just let it sit there until it separates, and take your little bulb syringe and siphon off some of that paint thinner, and it's automatically darker. Then that's the better choice right there, because well, you've already got the color right. It's just a little too light. And when I say color right on this one, I'm meaning I have to put some blue in that. It's just too pinkish colored. It's just the wrong color. And so I add a tiny bit of blue to it to give it a more realistic color, I guess. You don't want to add too much blue because it'll turn purple. And so you just play with it a little bit. I just put mostly the red color. And I stopped using the lip nails blush because it's just pinky pink. And I started using this other color called I'm looking at it right now. Quinidine. I don't even know how to say that word. Crimson. It's right here. I have it sitting right here. Quin. Quinacridone. I guess. Crimson #1. They have different colors of this color too. And this is the really, really dark red. And after I put it into the thinning medium and the Exodus oil, it looks a little pink, so I add a tiny bit of blue. And when I say tiny, I mean you're probably adding 7 or 8 times as much of this as you do blue. You don't need much blue at all. Just enough to kind of change the color a little. I usually put half and half in my coffee, but my sister, she buys the groceries. She bought milk this time, which is okay. It's just not as rich and yummy tasting. We do have some whipped cream in there. And if you want like sweet coffee and you put milk in it, whipped cream's a great choice too. Just squirt you some whipped cream. I'm not talking about Cool Whip. That ain't real whipped cream. I'm talking about the kind in the can you push the little button and it comes out like foam. That kind. You just put you a big old mountaintop of it on top of your coffee, and it creams your coffee and sugars it at the same time. Unless you just like a really, really lot of sugar. And it's richer taste, and it tastes, it's cream. But half and half, that's half cream and half milk. And it's very rich tasting too. I love it. It's really good in coffee. This will be the last video, I think, on Marissa's painting. And when we come to the next video, we'll be ready to do hair. and we'll start talking about all the things to do with putting hair on a doll. And then I'll root for a while, and then I'll stop the video and I'll keep on rooting because it's the same. It's the exact same thing that you've been watching me do for that little segment, just more of it. And who wants to see that? But when it gets to time where I'm going to be changing directions or formulating my angles or anything like that, then I'll be back on to cover that with you. We'll cover front hair and back hair and side hair and crowns and all kinds of things. You won't miss anything, I promise. Except boredom. You're going, okay, I've been seeing her do that back hair for such a long time now. Rooting actually takes a long time. My way of rooting is a little bit quicker than some other people's ways of rooting. And I'll explain all the different ways you can root when we start doing it. It's a process, and it's something you have to consider. Do you want to do it? It's also something that, and I'll cover all this again, what I'm telling you now, it's something that you won't be good at first. So in a way, it's kind of better if you start rooting earlier in your painting journey than if you wait until you're really good at painting. Because when you're really good at painting, you're going to go, I don't want to mess up this doll with that sloppy rooting I do. And you're going to be sloppy at first. You just can't help it. It's just like you haven't really mastered the actual little secrets, so to speak. Not that there's actually a secret, but it's something that it's hard to explain. It's something that you just learn, and you're not even really aware that you're learning it. Does that even make sense? It was like when I went to the eye doctor one time. It was the first time I was going to get bifocals. And the eye doctor said, oh, you're going to hate them at first, but I'm going to encourage you to wear them. Your eyes will train their self. And I was going, that's absurd. Your eyes can't train their self. But sure enough, they did. My eyes trained their self, and I started looking through my bifocals correctly. And now I can't even tell I have bifocals anymore. At first, they just look like this blaring, blurry thing at the bottom of my glasses. But your eyes, they do. They train themselves. And when I say your hands are going to train themselves, that's kind of what I mean. You're just going to figure out things and start doing it. You're not conscious, really, of the fact that you're doing something different. You're just doing better hair. Does that make sense? And by doing that, you're learning something that you didn't even know you were learning. It's kind of weird. You just naturally do it because you're noticing things. Right at first, you're going to notice every little thing. You're going to notice what made your needle break. You're going to notice why the hair's standing up too much. All kinds of things. You're going to start to notice all these things. The hair's standing up too much. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I did that. Okay. And then you're going to notice another time. Oh, the hair's laying down. What did I do different this time? Oh, yeah, I know what I did. You're going to figure it out anyway, way before you do it. I know what to do to make that hair lay down flatter. And we'll talk about all that. It's not as easy as those professional rooters make it look like. They make it look like, oh, is that all I have to do? Okay, well, I can do that. It's not that easy. But it's also probably not as hard as you're thinking it is. You might be thinking, oh, it's super hard to root. I can't do it. This, and this, and this, But I'm here to tell you, and I really mean this. I am so inept when it comes to being artistic or skilled at any certain particular thing. It's just, I'm not at all. I struggle with every artistic thing I've ever done. But if I can do this, literally anybody can do it. My special needs granddaughter made a doll. No, she didn't root. I'm just going to tell you, she didn't root. But she did make a doll. And my grandson made a doll. But he was older. He was 18 when he did it. So it was about a year and a half ago. But anyway, he'd never touched a doll before, so he sat right down and did it. So if he can do it and he's 18 years old, you can do it at whatever age you are. She's got a little dirt under her toes from what it is the paint starts to build up on your doll. And every coat of paint you put on it is darker and darker and darker. And finally you can really see it good. And if you don't brush it off, that dark color, it's forever on there. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it's not something that you can't do. You might not make beautiful hair on your first 20 or 30 dolls. That's what I'm gonna say. You're gonna need to practice your skills, and I probably go about it different than other people. I have a different sort of attitude. A lot of people think my very first hair I ever root has to be the most perfect hair in the world, and it's just not so. And I must put only one hair in each hole. Also not so. And in fact, I think, and this is just my opinion, everybody has their own, that really, really sparsely rooted hair like that, where you put one hair in each hole and you don't hardly put any hairs in the whole head at all, they just look almost like a cancer patient. Their hair's falling out or something. I know I tend to root thick, and I have rooted a few dolls where I didn't root them so thick, but I just tend to be a thick rooter. I'll even draw out a map on my doll's head, and I'll say I'm going to follow the map. I really, really am. And then I find that I can't. It's like, that just looks too bare. I need to go fill it back in. And everybody's different in that respect. I think that everybody has their own way and their own idea of what looks good. We're finished with this color now. I'm now going to touch up that one foot that had the nails that were too light. One of her feet, some kind of way, has got too light of nails. It's this one. Oh, it's only some of the nails. It's not all of them. It's the ones that are bent down. The big toe is all right. But anyway, we all are going to do our own way after we learn how anyway. But when you're learning, I shouldn't be covering this right now. I should wait till she comes out of the oven so we can actually do it while we're talking about it. But I'll recover it. I need something to talk about. I think when you're first starting out this is what I experienced anyway. Extreme trouble trying to get any hair in the head. It was just very, very difficult, and I thought, it doesn't matter how many go in each hole if I can't get any in. That just doesn't even matter. I need to get hair in the head. My problem is I was trying to mono root on my very first try. Mono rooting is one hair. You're actually putting one hair in each hole. And while that might be something a lot of people go for, I don't. I think it's too sparse, and I also think it is too hard. For one thing, I can't see that good. And I even bought those big, extreme magnifying goggle looking things that some people wear so they can see their doll better. It did not help me at all. Oh yeah, I want to do her lips too. And it was bigger, but it was very, very blurry. Let's put it that way. And I could not even see the ends of the hair hardly. I don't see that well. I'm an old lady. So I had to improvise. I had to come up with a new plan. And if there's anything I know how to do is improvise. I used to do it all the time. I'd have to formulate some new way of doing things at work. Everywhere I ever worked, I don't know why this happened, but it did. They always made me train people. And you'd be surprised how many people, they're not real bright. And you're explaining something simple to them, and they're looking at you like you're speaking Chinese or something. They can't seem to understand what you're talking about. So immediately you have to sort of simplify it for them. And so they can understand. And that's been my forte, I guess. I don't know what you call it. In my whole working career, I had to train people. I go, why me? Why do I have to do this? And I usually had a kind of high position in the companies I worked in. I worked in a grocery store for many, many, many years. It was mostly my career was working in a grocery store, but I was not a cashier. I was at first when I first started working there. But I don't know, they must have saw something in me that I couldn't see because they put me in the office after a while doing the book work. And back then, nobody had a computer. We did it with a calculator and a piece of paper. I had a form I had to fill out every day that broke down. It was quite involved. It broke down each different cashier's drawer, whether they were over or short, how much of everything they had in their drawer. And then you had to transfer the total of that to another sheet that was your weekly sheet. You had a daily sheet like that, and then you had a weekly sheet that only told the totals on the weekly sheet. Like Monday, this is the total of everybody to get. And I had to keep these books in, and they had to always balance and all that stuff. Well, every time a new cashier was hired, I had to freaking train them. I hated that job. I hate training people because it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm smarter than other people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everybody learns different. And I guess the way I learn is different from a lot of people's way of learning. And some of these were fresh high school graduates, and I was out of school for. I had kids even. I was married and had kids, and I was in my 30s, I think, and and these people were like, I don't get it. What do you mean you don't get it? It's like I couldn't even understand what they couldn't get. What exactly do you don't get? And I'd be going, you don't need to write this down. And I'd tell them something, they're writing it down. And I'm going, okay, I can see right now this is going to be grueling. I mean, to be a cashier, what do you need to know? You rake the stuff across the scanner, making sure the barcode comes in contact with the scanner. You push total, you take their money, however much money it is, you push cash tender, and you give them their change back. What's there to know? It's really, really straightforward and simple. I don't get it. Okay. Do I need to start over from the beginning? What is it you don't get? And sometimes it was quite frustrating trying to teach people stuff. It's just, I don't like doing it. And anyway, they made me do it. So, long story short, I was always looking for a better way to do things because, well, nobody's getting this. I better try to simplify it or something. And so I'd always be going to my boss with all these ideas. They didn't like that too much. They've already formulated what they think is the best way, and I'm going, okay, they're not getting it. I need to do something different. And, he didn't care how I explained it to him, but to tell him to do things a different way, like, okay, instead of doing that, do this. Oh, they didn't like that because I was always going, this is a much simpler way, and if you had them do this, blah blah blah. Okay. I did figure out one time they were losing money on coupons. If you know anything about coupons, you have to pay tax on them when you use them. You might, even if the item's free in your coupon. Let's say it was for a free tub of yogurt or something. They ring up the yogurt, and then when they take off the amount of the coupon, it should come off like cash comes off at the end. But they were having the whole thing just take it off the bill completely. And we're being charged tax on the coupons. And then if the customer's not paying the tax, the store's footing the tax. I said, wait a minute, we're losing money on this. He did change that right away because we were losing money. But I said, this is why it's not balancing. The books aren't balancing, and this is the reason why. I had to sit there and figure it out in my head now because no computers. I had to go through there and go, how much are we off? What equals that? Let me look through this. And I looked through every line until I found something, and it was the coupons. I said, oh, I found it. This is it. This is why it's not balancing. He did change that right away, I have to say. Now I don't know which foot I actually recolored the toes. The nails, that is. Oh, when I got up, it was so freezing in here, I had to put on this sweatshirt. Now I'm getting a little warm, I guess because I drank that warm coffee. We turn the air down really, really low when we go to bed because we like to sleep in. I used to sleep with the windows open, even in the winter time. The cold. It's 20 out, great, let's open the windows, you know. I want to bundle up under the covers and be cozy and warm and not get hot. So I wanted the window open. Plus the air is so fresh and frosty smelling. It's so nice to breathe. I know y'all calling me crazy, but that's okay. That's what I like. Boy, her toes look dirty. I gotta scrape some of that out. Anyway, so I guess I carried all that attitude with me back into my normal life after I stopped working, that maybe I need to find a better way to do things. Now, I watched a lot of people rooting, and they make it look super, super simple. It's so simple looking, you think, okay, I can do that, I can. She's doing it, it doesn't look hard, I'm gonna do it. No can do. It's not as easy as it looks. Wow, I did not color her nail very good. Either that or I'm tipping the wrong thing. Okay, she's tipped. But anyway, when we come back, we will be looking at rooting Marissa. That's her name, I think. And I'm going to get out of this sweatshirt because I'm burning up now. And it won't take very long. I don't root with a warm head. We'll go over all of that stuff. I did used to have, well, we'll go over all that stuff. I'm telling you everything before we even get to the video. Okay, when I come back, you're going to find most of my tables covered. Well, whatever you can see will be covered. The entire thing will actually be covered because of hair. You think hair doesn't get all over when you're rooting? You better think again. I advise you very strongly to cover your table. And if you don't already have your hair and needles and you're trying to follow along with me, you might just want to watch and then go back and watch it again and follow, because I'm going to explain a lot of things and you're going to go, well, I didn't know that and I didn't know that, you know. So you might want to hear all that stuff first before you start. I don't remember if I swished this brush, but I'm swishing it now. I like to keep this brush really clean because I use it a lot. Okay, we're going to put all this stuff to the side. Yeah, I'm going to cover the table, and when I come back, it'll be all covered. I'll have my hair laying out, all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to ask everybody to please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.